What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Mind Something. If you're new here, my name is Jake, and in today's video, we've got to make a follow-up video to the Dynex problem video that I posted previously. Now, it stirred up quite a bit of drama, and there's been some rebuttals to some of the things that I pointed out, and in the honor of transparency and honesty, I'm going to take a good healthy dose of humility, and I want to cover some of those replies that other people have posted. But I also want to take the time to bring up a couple of other concerns that I have. I think it's extremely important that all of you continue to investigate and do your own research. Number one, blindly follow anything that I or any other YouTuber says. Please do your own research and investigate and make decisions based off of the things that you have researched yourself. The other thing is, the ethos of crypto started as a movement because of corruption, fraud, and abuse. And I got into this space because I believe very strongly in those values. I want to make sure that we hold people accountable, and the best way to do that is to decentralize power. And that's one of the reasons that I made that video as a follow-up to DJ Mine interviewing Sumitomo. And I got some things wrong, and I'm going to be the first to admit it, and I want to share the things that I got wrong with you. And the best way to do that is to read a message that someone tagged me in their Discord. And by the way, I have been banned and removed from their Discord shortly after I tried to reply to this particular message. And this was a good reply from Crypto Perks. He says, at Mind Something, "You have not done enough research, which makes you misunderstand everything. If you had done some research, you had known that from the start of the project in September of 2022, the algo was pure kryptonite, meaning ASICS was mining Dynex until December 1st when Dynex Solved was introduced. FPGAs was not starting the network. The 1500 FPGAs was used in research during the 2.5 years prior to the launch at September of 2022. All this info is available for anybody researching enough. Number two, attacks perpetrated in the past have served to make Dynex stronger, preventing extortion of the blockchain. Again, the info is there. People did exploit the vulnerabilities and mine maliciously a lot, which led to a rollback of the blockchain one time. And it did happen again until security measures were implemented to prevent it altogether. And then lastly, after all coins are mined, there will be a block fee which will be distributed to miners through pools in the same way as the block rewards now. You have it confused with the solution reward that goes directly to the miner that solve a job, which is only a bonus. Again, this would be clear if you had done some research. How about researching more before you react?" And I concur. That was a knee-jerk reaction to seeing the interview by DJ Mines. And, I'm human. Obviously, we all make mistakes. However, again, there still are some concerns around Dynex that I think need to be addressed, and I want to get into those. And one way to get into this is, let me preface this by saying I got a couple of things wrong already, and I could be wrong in this instance, and I'm not personally alleging that this is the case. I'm presenting to you guys what has been presented to me by other community members. These other community members have also been banned in Dynex Discord for bringing up such questions. And one of the big questions is, why all the anonymity? Why all the secrecy? Why everything is controlled and centralized and going against the ethos of crypto? In my opinion, most of these new projects are software companies that are using the hype of crypto to fund their development. And by definition, if other people are expecting profits from their efforts, this is a security. And I think that a good portion of these projects are doing just that. Now, can something transition from being a security to something that is sufficiently decentralized? Yes. Can it go backwards? Can it start out decentralized and transform into a security? Yes. But I think that the intentions of Dynex could be explained a little bit better if we have a full background story about why they weren't successful when they weren't a crypto project, and why they chose going down the road of crypto to fund their development. You know, why were they unsuccessful in raising capital to do what was necessary, and why did they choose to use, let's say, the hash rate or the hardware from X Ethereum miners to bring such a project to life. So if you listen to the voice of Sumitomo in some of his previous AMAs, you're going to notice that his voice is very deep. So let me give you an example here.
Possible to win the solution. Lottery, as it's called in the community. Yeah, it is, but not really a priority for us right now.
It sounds like Arnold Schwarzenegger to me, which would insinuate Austrian accent, right? And here's another one from DJ Minds where it does sound like he's also using some type of voice masking software, but not quite the same as that AMA.
Not faster, but more efficient than other computing systems, right? And so we started off, we built it our own, we bought 1,500 FPGAs, right? We tried our technology, worked out great.
Okay, so now that we've heard those two variations of what Sumitomo sounds like, let's take a listen to what he sounds like when interviewed by Son of a Tech.
5 membristors here, and you put a transistor here and there, and you connect it all together, you make a circuit design. Now, if you were to build it, and if it would be possible to build it, you can basically compute at speeds which is unheard of, right?
So obviously there's a difference in the voice. And the big question is, if he is using some type of voicing mask, the question is why? You know, what are we trying to hide here? Are we trying to hide the identity of Sumi? And if we are, why is it so important to hide his identity? Now, I want you to take a listen to the voice from a gentleman by the name of Daniel Matz. And this, again, was brought to me by many different community members. I'm not saying that this is who Sumitomo is, but I want you to compare the two voices to one another. Again, let's play the Son of a Tech video.
Right, but it's not possible.
Okay.
But what turned out, that researchers found out, even if you simulate those circuit designs, which we call the Dynex chips,
Okay.
even then, obviously you're not as fast as if it would be a real hardware piece.
Okay. Now let's take a listen to Daniel Matz.
Divided into 2 separate spaces, right? One are the offline payments or point of sale transactions, like if you go to Starbucks, you swipe your card, right? You pay. That's actually where Google Wallet is approaching towards too, because you can actually tap your phone, pay at the point of sale. And on the other hand, you have all those online transactions, e-commerce transactions, mobile phone transactions.
So they do sound pretty similar to me. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, who is Daniel Matz and why should I care? Well, let's take a look. Daniel Matz is an entrepreneur slash speaker, author, and visionary, and he is currently the CEO of, what is it, 42XE or something like that. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, by the way, he's in Vienna, Austria. And he was previously the CEO and founder of Jumio. from 2010, this says until present, which would be 13 years and 3 months. However, he, as far as I know, is no longer employed at Jumio. And in 2010, in fact, this particular video is 11 years old from Bloomberg Originals, where he's talking about a new payment software service that will rival PayPal and Square. And if you take a look at what happened in the past, on April 2nd of 2019, the founder and former Chief Executive Officer of Jumio, Daniel Matz, agreed to settle with the SEC for more than $17 million for defrauding investors. According to the SEC, Matz grossly overstated Jumio's 2013 and 2014 revenues before selling his personal shares to private investors. Matt's settlement with the SEC followed shortly after another SEC settlement with Jumio's former Chief Financial Officer, Chad Starkey. Starkey also settled charges for failing to exercise reasonable care concerning the company's financial statements and signing stock transfer agreements that falsely implied Jumio's board of directors had agreed to Matt's sale of his private shares. After Matt's shares were sold, Jumio stated its financial results in 2015, which showed depleted revenues and led the company filing for bankruptcy. So, a lot of people accuse Daniel Matz of being a serial fraudster. And I'm not personally going to pass judgment, because if we take a look at the SEC now and what they're alleging against the crypto industry and the actions that they've been doing here lately, you know, even Elon Musk has had issues with the SEC and does, you know, he claims he does not respect them at all. And for that reason, you know, I can't say that this judgment against Daniel Matz is indicative of his character. Now, it certainly looks bad. Defrauding customers for, I think it was somewhere around $14 million. He paid a total of $17 million in the settlement here. But if this is in fact Sumitomo, does that change your opinion of this project? And is that the reason that they have not disclosed his identity? Really makes you wonder. But, you know, again, I don't have facts. I have things that community members have brought to me. I bring them up. Sometimes not all of them are researched long enough. I work a full-time job. I got a wife. I got kids. I do the best that I can here. And, you know, the one thing that I can promise you guys is I'm not always going to get it right. But that doesn't mean that we should stop asking questions. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the content. Forgive me of any transgressions. If you feel strongly that Dynex is a great project, then perhaps you should be happy that information like this is out here, because I assume that means hash rate is not as high as it could be, and that means more for you to collect. And for those of you that believe Dynex is a scam and it's not legit, well then, perhaps you're not mining it and you have nothing to worry about. So hopefully for everybody, this is a win-win situation, but only time will tell. Appreciate you guys watching the content. Do me a favor before you go, hit that like, and if you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so, and I'll see you on the next one.